do I like throw it up or throw it
Throw
up?
it up.
That's not what I meant to say.
That's not.
Do I like cut it up, like mash it, or do you just like chunk the log in there? Oh, hey there, y'all. So tonight we're gonna learn how to cook the most traditional of traditional Scottish meals, haggis. Not at all what I thought haggis looked like. I'd always envisioned my whole life this like stomach stuffed with stuff, but that's not really what it looks like at all. It's like it's all chopped up. And anywho, our host here made it for us the night that we got here, and it was super tasty. And then we had it once more at a restaurant, also super tasty. So tonight we're gonna see if we can figure out how to cook it. Here we go. All right, step one, turn on the hob. It's on a switch over. The hob is the oven, by the way. It's on a switch over here. And last time I turned it on, it shocked the poop out of me.
Excuse me.
No shocking today. All right, cooking instructions. Remove the packaging, obviously. Wrap the haggis in foil. Place in the oven-proof dish, about 2 centimeters of water, and heat at 180 degrees Celsius for 75 minutes. Oh, geez. We're gonna starve. I still have yet to figure out these ovens. It's like reading Egyptian hieroglyphs. There's no words, there's just lots of pictograms. I know that these now are the broiler because I burnt a pizza to a crisp the other day. What anything else is, I have absolutely no clue. But,
Okay.
however, I will show you the coolest thing ever. Why are Asians and Europeans so much smarter than us and have cooler stuff? I don't know, but they do. Watch this. You don't have to be doing this business to try to get your hot stuff out. It just, whoop. Ridiculous. Also, I know we have them in the States, but they're not like a regular thing. Why do we have those stupid cooktops when there's such a thing as an induction oven or an induction top that boils water in like 45 seconds? Why do we have these stupid electric cooktops that go on and off and on and off, and your pans never get hot and it takes 4 years to boil water? Get with it, America. All right. Oven-proof pan, check. Haggis, check. Tin foil? Full, by the way, for you non-Southern Americans, is aluminum foil. Not in the South. In the South is tin foil. Yes, we know we have butchered the English language. Our British friend tells us this consistently. He says we do not speak. He says we do not speak English. We speak American. And I tell him, oh no, we don't even speak American. We speak Arkansan. Hey, full turd done. So, the full traditional meal, so we've been told, is haggis, neeps, and tatties, which is haggis, roasted turnips, and mashed potatoes. So, we're gonna attempt to make the full shebang here tonight. This, by the way, is what a turnip looks like. I'm not that Southern. We don't really eat turnip greens or anything. That's like farther south than us. We're sort of Midwestern-y South in Arkansas. We don't really know what we are. I must say, it is quite nice to have the kitchen again. Not that I'm any kind of super cook or that I just love it, but it's nice occasionally. Like, I'm not even sure this turnip is still good because we bought it like our first day or so here. Ah, yeah, it's fine. if I don't know what I'm doing with this, y'all don't make fun of me because I've never made a turnip before. I'm just gonna roast it like a normal vegetable and hope I don't cut my hand off trying to cut this thing. So if there's any like real chefs out there, feel free to leave in the comments how you actually cut a turnip because I have no idea. I'm just doing what looks like you should do. And except for the gross parts, we're just gonna leave the skin on there. Because most vegetables are better for you if you eat the skin part, right? I mean, I feel like that's like a general rule. Maybe I'm wrong with the turnip, but I feel like that's like the thing. So let's do that. All right. So when Kate made it for us, she cut it in strippy things. So I'm gonna cut it in strippy things. Maybe if I can do that.
The knife is not very sharp.
I think my knife is stuck. So turnips are really hard. Just, you know, root vegetable. Let's try this again. There we go. That's better. Let's try not to cut it from like the very center because that's stupid. All right, so while I cook dinner, I'm gonna answer some of the questions that we get asked a lot, all the time. So people tend to send us, not all the time, but you know, every once in a while we get a message from people on social media. Most of the time it's in person when people find out what we do and how we live. The questions start to roll in. And so I would say the first question that we get the most is, how do you afford to do this? So just answer that one first. Number one, if you're not familiar with our channel and you haven't been around for a while, I'll just go back to the beginning. Ryan was a school teacher by trade. I was a vascular access nurse. So we both had decent jobs, especially for Arkansas. The living standard's pretty low, and so we lived decent. We had a nice house, and we did that for a long time. When we left for full-time travel in 2020, we had already been married for 15 years. So yeah, we lived a little life, and we had most of our money, honestly, came from flipping houses. We built our first house a year into our marriage. Lived in it for, I think, a year or two, I guess, because we didn't pay capital gains on it. There's your secret. Sold it for more than we made on it, turned around, put the money into our next house, which was a house that was built in the 70s. Really nice, lovely, beautiful house. Was originally built by a doctor, really nice place, but needed a lot of help. It was a foreclosure, and so we bought it fairly cheap. Lived in it for several years, actually way longer than we thought, because I decided to go back to school and get my nursing degree. Hence, prior to that, I had a biology and chemistry degree, so that I didn't use. So anyway, worked on that house for probably 5 years or so, sold it for quite a large profit, moved into a very nice home in the middle of the city that we lived in. It was on a lot of acreage, and we did some minor things to it, opened it up a little, changed the floor plan, and then in 2 years we sold that home as well. So by that point, as we were packing up our stuff to leave that house, I just sort of looked at Ryan and said, let's not do this again. And he was like, what do you mean? Like, the whole thing. The house, all of it. Like, let's just take the money and run. Let's go travel the world. Let's go do something. And Ryan being Ryan said, okay. And so we made the decision to, by this point, selling that house, we had paid off all of our debts, all of our school loans were gone, all of our cars were paid for, etc. This was late 2018. And so at the beginning of 2019, we moved into a really kind of crummy apartment. Well, the apartment was fine, the neighborhood was super crummy. Not a place we would have lived before that. But it was fine. And a real estate friend of mine got us a really good deal on an apartment that she managed the building. And we were able to live for super cheap. I think our rent, just to let you know Arkansas prices, not to give you like too much personal detail, but people ask these things and you know what, we're transparent, so it is. I think at that point in time, our mortgage was around $1,600 a month, 15 to 16 on our big house. We traded that in for a $525, I think, dollar a month apartment. So, and we knew at this point that we were going to be traveling full time, so we took that $1,000 in difference and we put it into our travel savings account immediately. We also we opened a high interest savings account through Barclay, and we started, at that point there was still some interest to be made. Now there certainly is not. We put everything, that $1,000 a month, and everything that was left that we made off the house, which was still several $1,000s, and we just began stashing. We started eating out less. We started being more careful at the grocery store, not buying what we didn't need. I dumbed down our Christmas budget substantially. I started doing an actual budget, not only making one, but also tracking every expense, and just really paying attention to how much money we spent. And over the course of that year, combined with what we made off the house, we were able to put away almost $60,000. So that is how we were able to leave everything and go travel, because we had a little cushion. So then, but we didn't just like blow through our money. Ryan had a job that first year and a half. He taught, I taught a little bit, but he taught way more than me, on a international platform for English as a second language. He taught mostly Chinese students, young kids, through VIP Kid. That platform is having some issues now. He actually got fired, y'all. Davis got fired, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah, because he missed too many classes. Because at that time, we were touring Central America. If you haven't seen those videos, we spent like 6 months in Mexico, all kinds of time in Guatemala and Costa Rica. And the internet was crap. So yeah, it was, and the platform's really huge. It sucks a lot of bandwidth. So it was really hard to have good enough internet to get his classes in. And they got canceled a lot not due to him not being there, just due to the internet not working. So yeah, that's how we made our money. Mostly flipping houses, and we just had decent jobs and frugal living for a while. Not always, we didn't live frugally always, but that last year and a half, definitely. All right, boo, what's the next question? Y'all, I've fallen in love with this raspberry water stuff. I'm drinking it out of a fancy glass because I'm fancy, but I love it. It's this stuff. Black cherry raspberry sparkling water. It's delightful. Anyway, continue. What's next, boo?
Second question. How do we make money while traveling?
We had met up with a traveler in Mexico that we just really clicked with. Her name's Kristen. You've seen her in our turkey videos. And well, anyway, she was working for a travel company that does like scavenger hunts and travel journals and local guides all over the world. And it's all done through an app. It's called Let's Roam. And she was working for them as a writer, and she asked me, she's like, hey, we have a spot. I think you would be perfect for it. Do you want to turn in some work and see what happens? I'm like, yeah, absolutely. So she put in a recommendation for me, I guess, and I turned in a few articles that I had written, and I hired that day. And so I've been working for them ever since. I write anywhere between 4 and 5 articles a week, which is usually somewhere between anywhere from 12,000 to 20,000 words a week. Generally on these platforms, you get paid either by the article or by the word. I actually get paid by the word, which I feel like works out better for me. And so yeah, I work when I have time and around our schedule. I generally work about 4 days a week, and then we tour 3 days a week and make fun stuff and that kind of thing. I don't work all day every day those 4 days, but most of the time I work at least 4 to 6 hours on those 4 days. So it's not a total life of leisure. I do work quite a bit, but you know what? It's something I love. It's not difficult, and it pays the bills. So that's how we stay afloat.
How do you find your housing?
How do we find our housing? A lot of different ways. Obviously, we'll just start with where we're at now. If we need a break from like go, and we just want a semblance of some sort of normal life, we'll book a house sit. Especially if you're in Europe, because there are so many of them. We use a website called Trusted House Sitters. It works really well for us, I think, because we have owned a home, we kind of know how to manage a property, and we're married and like older, and people tend to, I guess, feel safe with us or something. I don't know. But anyway, basically it's an exchange program. So in exchange for a free stay, we take care of the home and usually a pet. So like in this case, we're in Edinburgh, which is an extremely expensive city. We're staying in an incredible house from like the 1900s, like right at the turn of the century. It's in a beautiful, beautiful upscale neighborhood in Edinburgh. The family is super, super friendly, and we have one dog to take care of. She's beautiful and easy. And yeah, so it gives us time to explore a city, you know, for a couple of hours a day. We're staying in this place for a little over 2 weeks, so it gives us plenty of time to get out and see the city bit by bit. And it gives us plenty of time to work and catch up on things and all that. So that's one way. Another way, if we're just doing regular, I just use Airbnb, but the fees on Airbnb have gone up a lot lately. So generally I use Booking. The one thing that I will tell you is that it is better to stick with one platform. Like for instance, if you book, I don't know, let's say we book 15 places a month. That's probably not an exaggeration. If I were to book 3 on Airbnb, 2 on Expedia, 3 on Kayak, 4 on Adobe, or not Adobe, Agoda, and you know, whatever's left on Booking, that doesn't get you as many perks as booking them all on booking.com, because the more you book, the higher tier level you get and the more discounts you get. Like, it's not abnormal for me at a tier level 3 for Booking to pay $10 of my room, plus the discount that we get. So you get more perks by sticking with the same company. So I would suggest that. There are also other free trade programs, like couch surfing. You can really only stay like a night or 2. A lot of people use that. It's like a cultural exchange. So you can stay for a night or 2 on someone's couch or in their spare bedroom, just in exchange for like cooking them a dinner from your home country, or hanging out with them, or just like helping them with English, or you know, whatever. We don't really use that very much, but you can. It's an easy way to do it. And then occasionally we'll stay in a hostel, which I generally, again, just book on booking.com.
Our next question. Do you guys get tired of moving or constantly moving every day?
We would. Yeah, I mean, you would get extremely tired of that. We don't do that. We have the luxury of not having to do that, and so we don't. Ryan and I, usually our schedule is we spend about a month to 6 weeks in each country. And generally what we do is we book an apartment for a month, 3 weeks to a month in a major city. That allows us to explore that city thoroughly, get some rest, catch up on work, edit videos, do all that kind of stuff, and just live, like just be normal, and plan the next route. And then we'll take a week to 10 days to 2 weeks to tour the country. And by that time, you know, we've kind of got a plan of what we want to see and do. So that's generally how we do it, and then we move to the next place. So we do not hop and hop and hop every couple of nights. You can do that on vacation, sure. You can do that for a few months, sure. But eventually that gets really old and it's not enjoyable anymore. Like, it can really ruin your taste for travel, and so we don't do that. We give ourselves space.
Yeah, the packing and unpacking.
Okay, this is not even getting hot. No, I didn't turn. Y'all, I told you, I cannot figure out these ovens. I turned the heat, I put it on the thing, but I didn't push another third button, and so it's not, this whole time it hasn't even been getting hot.
Next question. What people always seem to ask us this. What's your favorite place that you've traveled to?
Yeah, that honestly is probably the most common question. And I can't answer it. I like a lot of different places for a lot of reasons, and our answers wouldn't be the same either, probably. Yeah, it depends. It depends on what mood I'm in. It depends. I would say overall we do love the UK. We love Scotland. We love England. We love Ireland. But I also love a really dirty city, like a crazy. I love culture and diversity probably more than Davis does. So I love Kathmandu. I love Delhi. I love Istanbul. I just like the people watching a crazy city. Davis does not as much. So we probably disagree on that. But yeah, man, it just depends. It just depends on what we're in the mood for. And honestly, probably the more you travel, the more you just sort of feel at home wherever you are. There are places we love, and there are places that we love to return to. Italy is among our favorites, wouldn't you say? What's your favorite, Boo?
You've already answered the favorites. UK, Ireland,
UK and Italy for Davis.
Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, but that being said, there is nowhere on earth more beautiful than the jungles of Costa Rica and Guatemala. There just isn't. They're gorgeous. The beaches of Albania are stunning and cheap, and we do love to find a place that is like not on the main tourist path. Albania is one of those gems. We loved it there. It's gorgeous. So yeah, there's a lot of places that we love. I don't know that we really have a favorite. Long answer short.
So, transportation.
Okay.
How do you get around? Do you have a car?
No, we do not have a car. Some days I wish we had a car. We've thought about buying one here in Europe. But as an American, you can only stay in the European Union or in the Schengen zone for 180 days, and you have to leave, so it's not really worth it. You have to leave and come back, and it's a pain in the butt. So, or 90 days. 90 out of every 180. Sorry, I said that wrong. So you have to leave and come back. It's not worth it. So no, we just use public transit, and generally we use whatever's cheapest. If that's the bus, we use the bus. If it's the train, we use the train. In Europe, a lot of times it's just a flight. Flight is your cheapest and fastest option. We use that. So yeah, whatever's cheapest, that's what we use. Yes, it takes lots of research to figure that out, but that's what we do. Sometimes we ride a bus filled with chickens. Unless it's just totally sketch and really scary, we're probably going to take the cheapest route. Tip on that though, always look for coupons and passes. Sometimes just the local transit, you hop on and off for a ticket and that's fine, but always do your calculations. Like if you know that you're going to be all over the city for the next 2 days, then buy a 2-day pass. It's going to cost you less than buying a whole bunch of separate tickets. If you know you're going to take the rail all over Scotland, like next week, we're going to do that. We're going to buy a rail pass, like a 7-day rail pass that gets us all over the country. So always just look and make sure, when we did the Greek islands, we bought a ferry pass because it saved us like $250 or something on Greek island hopping. So there are always options. Just make sure that you do your research and look for passes, look for local passes, look for groupings, buying in bulk, whatever. Sometimes you can buy more than you need and still get for less than what it would cost you for one or two. So do that.
How we deal with personal hygiene stuff or any type of medical stuff?
Yeah, those questions are funny. So y'all, they have hospitals. I don't say that to be turdy, but we do get like serious questions like, well, what happens if you break your leg? I'm like, well, we go to the hospital. Yes, we do have travel insurance that includes major medical insurance. It's through a company called Safety Wing. It's a really good price. It costs us about $80 a month for both of us, and that covers our health, that covers transport back to the U.S., that covers travel insurance on our stuff, and all kind of wrapped into one. So we are covered if something bad happens. Hygiene, we're just gross. Yeah, we're just gross. That's pretty much the gist of it. No, but we do, you know, on our longer periods when we're doing a long stay, we go to the store and we get some shampoo, you know. When we're hopping around, we probably don't take a shower every day, and we carry a bar of soap because that's the easiest thing to get on and off planes. That is the oven. I don't know what it's doing, but it does that every now and then. So we're not really sure how to make it stop. But you can't carry all the stuff that I had back home. There's just no way. You have to learn to like multi-use things, like coconut oil, for instance. Great body moisturizer, great lip balm, great for your hair, great to take your makeup off. Like, you know, you have to carry things that are like multi-purpose. Basically, all that I have with me on a normal day is a face moisturizer, which I've just added recently, some witch hazel or coconut oil to clean my face with, and then a bar of soap. That's really pretty much it.
Shampoo.
I don't use dry shampoo. Nope, don't have room for aerosol cans. Some people use dry shampoo, but that doesn't really help you when you're traveling. I mean, it takes up a lot of space and it doesn't really help. So, yeah. And then when we stay for longer periods, I have used the bar shampoos and those are great. I'm out right now, but those are great. But yeah, you don't really have to wash your hair that often, especially when it's thick, curly, and dry anyway. So, and Davis doesn't have any hair, so there's that. Most places sell tampons. They may not be the kind you want, but you can get some. And that's that. What else?
How do you pay for things? Do you take out cash, use a debit card, credit card? What do you use to...
Okay, so Davis and I have always, even before we traveled full time, we traveled a lot. We still traveled 3 times a year or so, mostly international, and we have always had a travel credit card. Originally, we used the Barclay Arrival Plus card. We still have it. It is our old tried and true and steady. You can't get one anymore. They don't sell them anymore. Sorry. Our secondary card that we got when we started traveling international, like full time, is the Chase Sapphire Reserve card. It has a huge yearly fee, so I would not recommend it for anyone who does not travel constantly. If I were you, I would get the Chase Sapphire Preferred card, which is like the lower tier. It's like $90 a month fee. It still has excellent travel benefits. I think it's a standard like 2 points per whatever across the board. Ours is like 2 points for this, 10 points for anything that's like travel or gas related. Plus they do like monthly things. Sometimes it's groceries, sometimes it's this or that. But anyway, all of those points, they have like a pay yourself back program that we use sometimes, or sometimes I just outright buy travel stuff with them. On those rewards credit cards too, they have partners, so you can sometimes like shift them over to a specific airline or something like that. I don't do that very often because I don't find the exchange to be profitable, but that's just math you have to do. Unfortunately, you have to do the math and see if, you know, you transfer these 10,000 points you have on your card over to American Airlines. Are you going to get more, you know, bang for your buck by doing that, or would you get more bang by just buying the tickets on your card and then using the points to pay for it? So it's just a profit game. You have to play a little bit. But yes, we do use a credit card. We put everything that we possibly can on a credit card. Sometimes people don't like that, especially in Europe, but everything we possibly can, we put on our credit card. We do generally take out some cash, just especially, you know, some places you have to. And when we have to take out cash, we have... If you are an international watcher, I'm sorry, you can not listen to this part. But for Americans, we have a Charles Schwab investor high yield checking account. And it's basically a combo account between a investment account. You get like an investor to help you, like, you know, and then a checking account that's international. So we can pull out money from anywhere in the world just with a normal ATM, and it actually pays back all ATM fees, so we don't have to ever worry about pulling out money. We never have to go to a money exchange. We never have to do anything like that. We just go pull it out of our checking account, and Charles Schwab waives the fees. So that's how that works. And then it gives us a little, we put a little bit of money in our investment account just to play around with here and there, which mostly this year has turned into a giant loss. So, whatever. But yeah, so we do carry some cash, but not a lot.
Next question, do you guys have a budget?
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely. I'm the budget hound. Yes, we do try being a very operative word, because obviously every country is different, but we try to stick to less than $2,000 a month total budget. We try to stick to around $25 a day for our accommodations and around $25 a day for food. And then everything else is wrapped up in, usually our food is pretty over. We end up eating a lot and food's expensive. But yeah, that's generally, and then, we have budget set for all kinds of other things too, from activities to transportation to, of course, we have our health and insurance and wellness and stuff. We still give to a few charities and our tithe and that sort of thing. So, yeah, that they all kind of add up, but around $2,000 a month is our general goal. And I keep it all in a Google spreadsheet. And generally, I track it every week. It's much easier if I do it every week. So yeah, just at the end of the week, I sit down, I put in every single expense that we spent that week, and just kind of keep a running tally. So that's how that works.
What do you do about communication?
Well, a couple of different things. We had T-Mobile for a long time, and I got dissatisfied with the coverage. They're really the only international plan that there is. So I switched to Google Fi, which works so much better. However, Google is smarter and more on the ball than T-Mobile, and it only took them like 5 months to realize that I don't spend any time in America. So they kicked me off my international data plan, because you sign even though it's international, you sign a thing that says you predominantly will stay in the United States, which obviously we do not. So we got kicked off. I still have it for texting and calling, but I do not have data anymore. What we use for data is Davis has an unlocked Motorola phone, which is a nice phone, and we do local SIM cards. They are generally super cheap. Even here in Scotland, yours was what, $12? So cell phones in America are a complete and total ripoff. They're generally a whole lot cheaper everywhere else. We can often get a SIM card for an entire month with unlimited social media and 20 gigabytes of data for less than $10. That is not unheard of. The one here in Scotland was about $12, and how much was on it? Do you remember? I know it was less, but...
Well, it gave me 20 gigabytes of data.
Yeah. So 20 gigs for $12.
And free social media.
So anytime you're using WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, none of that counts against your data. So, yeah, so basically we have 20 gigabytes of data to use Google Maps. And it was $12 for a 30-day plan. So, yeah, local SIM card. Just make sure your phone is unlocked. You have to have an unlocked phone or it will not work. Pooch fed. Where you going?
Putting this can up.
Hurry up. All right, you guys, the haggis is finally done. It's been like an hour and, I don't know, a little over an hour and a half. The turnips are still in. They're taking a little longer. I've bumped up the heat on them. They're roasting now that the haggis is out. I'm gonna warm up these potatoes. Oh, Cushy Cush is back. Brian's been taking the dog for a walk. They are back, so we'll have a fine Scottish meal here in just a second. Yes, I'm using pre-made potatoes. Don't yell at me, Mom and Grandma, Aunt Sherry. I know. But they're not like powdered potatoes. They're actually like homemade ones, just someone else made them. And I'm warming them up in the microwave because I didn't want to peel potatoes. Someone just asked us this one the other day. When they found out that we like left careers and stuff, what about your retirement and all, and your licenses and all that stuff?
It was actually pretty easy. Ryan works for the state. He does not have to uphold a license, really. He just has to do like a bunch of yearly training. And so he can just do his training when he gets back for the upcoming year. No big deal. So his teaching license is pretty easy. We put his retirement, we froze it, put it on hold, and it will just pick right back up when we return to the States. So no big deal there. And most of our retirement money is wrapped up in his retirement because he has the best retirement. My license, my nursing license, I do have to uphold, but I can just do my training on... I do have to uphold my nursing license every 2 years, but I just do online training through like nursing.com and keep it up in case I ever have to use it again. I hope that I don't ever have to use it again, but if I do, it's there. So, yep, that's that. Alright. So, haggis is out of the oven. It's been out probably, I don't know, 10 minutes or so, so it should have cooled off a little bit. And maybe we can figure this out. Okay. They even make vegan or vegetarian haggis, which I thought was funny. Like, how's that possible? I don't even know what. I guess you just don't put the actual. I don't know. I don't even know what would be in that. All right. Busting this meat tube open. Meat tube. So, I had a friend a long time ago. Well, I mean, she's still my friend. I guess I just don't see her very often. But, funny meme story. Hannah had, as I do, a whole list of words that grossed her out. And at one of our gatherings, someone kept talking about a meat tube or a meat sack. I think we were like bagging meat for like a church function or something. I don't know. And somebody kept saying meat tube, meat sack, and Hannah kept gagging. And so, unfortunately, Hannah had a mean group of friends. And at one point, we put a bunch of Post-it notes like all over her house, inside her cabinets and stuff, that just said gross words like meat wad, meat sack. She also really hated the word. Gosh, I can't even say it because I hate it so much. I feel like a lot of people hate the word moist, but yeah, I wasn't going to put words. But anyway, you can't really explain what haggis is without talking about a meat tube because that's what it is. So, after it's all finished, yummy! Hopefully these are done. I think they're probably still a little bit need a little longer, but I'm tired of waiting. I'm hungry. So, microwave mashed potatoes. Shh, don't tell. Alright, you guys, here it is, our traditional Scottish dinner. So, hope you guys enjoyed this little meal. Hope we answered whatever question you had.
Yeah.
I don't know. If you have more, drop them in the comments. We will definitely answer them either in a later video or, I don't know, in the comments, something. Too many. Alright guys, get lost. So how did I do?
It's really good.
Don't sound very convinced.
No, it's really good. You did so good on the mashed potatoes.